experience in the week that we have, and ultimately not pulling out this win tonight is very, very disappointing. But I'm still so proud of our players and our staff and kind of everybody involved. I mean, it didn't go our way. It's football and all games in general are, there's a winner and there's a loser, and you've got to make plays to be one or the other. And we didn't make the plays tonight to win. We certainly didn't. There were some bonehead mistakes from us as coaches, and some plays that we didn't make from our players. So, it falls on everybody's shoulders, the disappointment and the loss, and it's just it's just unfortunate because we had a really what I thought was a program changing season. And I know a lot of you say, well, if you finish 7-6, how can that be program changing? I saw a lot of grit. I saw a lot of toughness. I saw tremendous fight. I saw great leadership. I saw a program really starting to, I guess you use the word blossom, and the excitement that was generated throughout the course of our season, from the opening game against Tennessee throughout our home stand, going 5-1 at home. And, it just, we limped to the finish. But like I said, I'm proud of those guys. Very, very proud. And this is not going to be just a every other year occurrence. I mean, this is something we're going to strive, and we're going to get back for, and we're going to win that 8th game for the first time. And those seniors that are sitting there in our locker room crying their eyes out are the ones that have put us in a position to go and do that, to be successful in the future. And we will certainly be successful in the future. But tonight we fell on the short end. And hats off to Wyoming. They did the things necessary to pull out that victory right there. Coach Bowl and that staff over there and their players fought and played hard and came out with a win tonight.
What kind of legacy do you think the senior class, and specifically Dan, will leave behind?
Are you kidding me? They ought to write a book on Dan. I mean, honestly, you talk about courage, you talk about leadership, you talk about heart, you talk about effort, you talk about enthusiasm, you talk about putting a program on your back, and all those guys. I mean, Ed Kearney's sitting over there. He's got a torn ACL. Remy Lazarus had knee surgery. I mean, you go on and on and on. I mean, these guys battled. I mean, it's hard. I mean, we went through a season where, you got 4 captains. We got 3 knee injuries. We got one that plays through an ACL tear, and we got our left tackle. He comes out the only last man standing, I guess you would say. What legacy do they still? I mean, it's amazing. I can write a book on each and every one of them and what they meant to our program. Great leaders. I saw it firsthand from the spring, back a year ago, throughout the summer, into this fall, and they stayed and they did everything in their power to lead this football team to be very successful. And I'm very, very proud of those guys. I'll never forget what they've done for us.
Coach, how crucial was that roughing the punter call on you guys there before the half?
Do you really want to ask that question? I mean, honestly. I mean, we're sitting there in a 4th and 16, and that's on me. That's on me. He called the block for whatever reason, and I should have overridden that call. I mean, I really should have. You're not going for the block on 4th and 16, but we did, and rough the punter right there and give them that crazy touchdown there right before the half. I mean, I think we had 8 guys almost run into each other when they scored on that throw. So yeah, you look at it from a momentum standpoint. I mean, here you are, you're in a 7-point ball game. You're going to go in there and you're feeling good. We're in striking distance, and we feel like we can move the ball and put some points on the board. And then that happened, and so that was a critical moment.
Hey, Coach, you talked about briefly, the injury to Alexander, the injuries to Lazarus. With those kind of huge injuries, you guys would look back and say what could have been those guys who were healthy throughout the season?
If you want me to give you coach speak, you say, oh, you don't ever look back and say that. But, I certainly didn't. And I think even to the point when we lost Ed, we lost Remy, those are leaders that are taken off the field during the course of the game, and then Dan goes down at ULM, and You know, it's hard to keep the morale up, to tell you the truth, when all those things continually happen to you. But they stood strong, and you know, then to see the way Dan finished the way he did, it's real easy to look back and say, you know, this could have been a 9-10 win year. But you know, that's the game of football. It's physical. Things happen. We're going to develop our football program where we have people in place that can step in there. And when I say step in there, you can't replace the leadership that those guys have, but the talent level, the communication, is going to be there, and it's coming.
When Dan kind of seemed to bang up that leg in the second quarter, were you concerned that maybe he wouldn't be able to continue at that point?
Dan and I have a real good relationship. And I told Dan, I said, you can look at me at any time and let me know that, hey, it's not going to happen. And never once did he give me that look saying, you know, I'm done. And people probably don't understand that. they really don't. They probably say, oh, how can you put a guy out there and with a torn ACL? But you know, if he ever thought that there was something that was going to happen, or he thought he was worsening the injury, he was going to give me that look, and I was going to give him the thumbs up. You would have known it.
Coach, the department was 9 of 12 on third downs through the middle of the third quarter. What were some of the issues y'all had getting them off the field?
Let me tell you, it was the coverage. I mean, you know, a lot of times we'd place them outside leverage, and they'd beat us inside on the routes. We were getting pressure on the quarterback, but he was releasing it at the right time and getting those throws in there. We should have been a little bit tighter in coverage. We should have doggone pressed them a little bit. When I say press them, I mean bang them off the line of scrimmage, reroute them in their routes that we didn't. I didn't see us rerouting at times. They were just running free, and they're breaking on maybe the inside slant or running that seam route, and they weren't taking off their track. And that's critical. You can't let a timing throw beat you. You got to reroute those guys. You got to put some hands on them. So.
Coach, with the freshman quarterback, they went to a much more balanced offense than they'd had all year. Was that a problem for you in preparation?
I don't think so. Not at all. I mean, they did exactly what I thought they would do. I didn't think they were going to be 9-12 on third down and have the ability to kind of run like they did, but it didn't.
If you look at third downs and fourth downs for you guys, combined 4 for 17, what do you think were some of the issues in those situations?
Wow, we were going to take some chances, and so that first fourth down right there, you know, I can't remember the 33, 34-yard line on, you know, probably some eye-opening. Oh, they're going for it, but we had the fumble snap right there, or the fumble pitch, I should say, that didn't work for us. And you know, like I said, we lost a lot of receivers this year, and for whatever reason, it just we didn't have the open looks that we typically have. I thought we were holding up pretty well in protection. I didn't think that they were giving us any unnecessary looks from a blitz scheme, but you know, I think they played well defensively and took some things away from us, and credit to them and their staff.
Yeah, Coach, just, you know, beyond this game, you talked about how this program changed for you guys. Just how much has it meant to you to be able to lead and coach these guys over the season?
You know, when you get to know Dan Ellington, Remy Lazarus, Ed Kearney, Hunter Atkinson, I can name every senior, Kai. I mean, it's amazing when you go through some of the things that we go through, especially when you're trying to build a program. It's not always, you don't see the tough times. You watch 60 minutes of a ball game, you make your opinions based off of whether we won or lost, but you have no idea the closed door meetings that we have, the tough times in the weight room, the 6 a.m. runs, the academic meetings, the laughs, the talks about life. You don't get all that. I wish you could see it. I wish somebody could document that. And then it's just gone. It's taken away from a senior class. When I say it ends in this football team, it's amazing. I mean, just who those guys are in that room. I mean, I could have really walked in that locker room and really ticked off. And you know, and like I said, I hate losing. You know, everybody does, but those men laid it on the line. You got a quarterback that's playing with a torn ACL. You got 2 other of your captains sitting over there with knee surgeries, and you know, a bunch of other guys that have just laid it on the line for you. It means the world to me to coach guys like that. That's men. You're coaching men, and it's not like they were just a bunch of goof-offs. Those are men, and they're doing great things. So I'm extremely proud of this football team. I'm extremely proud of everyone involved.
Coach, what's your message to the guys returning going to be going into 2020?
Oh, learn from the leaders that we had this year. I told them I hope they all took notes, because we've got to establish new leaders, new guys have got to step up, new commitments from the young guys that just don't have the sense of urgency at that time. I said, I hope you paid attention to these guys that led us this year, because they led us the right way. And if you did take notice, and you can take anything away from them, then we're going to be okay. We're going to move forward, and we're going to be just fine. But we got a hell of an off season to go through. You know, you're going to have a bad taste in your mouth losing the last one, and they understand that. But I told them we got to have new leaders emerge, and we've got to have new commitment, and we've got to have new focus, and we've got to evaluate everything from the start. So I told them just get ready.
Can you tell a season like this has helped you guys recruiting wise?
Oh, I mean, come on, man. Certainly it has. I mean, I thought we signed an exceptional recruiting class. You have some of the biggest wins in school history. You go 5-1 at home. I mean, there's a lot of firsts that we've done here. So certainly, I mean, people have taken notice to Georgia State University football, and they will continue to take notice. And as long as they're doing that, the recruiting is going to be good. So certainly, here we are playing. You know, we're playing on national TV. You know, people were watching us today. There's a lot of teams that weren't playing today, but didn't have an opportunity to go play. So, yes, this season has done the world. It's going to make a big difference for us.
You ever thought of giving seminars to other coaches on how to handle this session?
No, I have not. I have not. Maybe if I win 13, 14, 15 games, they'll ask me.
All right, thank you, Coach. I appreciate the time.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Anything else? How many? Who's from Georgia State? First of all, I want to thank you guys for coming out here. There was a time, probably 3 years ago, that didn't make the trip, or 4 years ago, when they first went to the bowl game, didn't make the trip to cover Georgia State University football. And you guys are here, so I thank you. There's going to be a lot of big-time stories for you guys to write, so y'all just hang on.